Everyone, and welcome to this next edition of Cooking with Memo. Today I'm going to make for you Chino Latino. Chino because it's Chinese, and Latino, well, because I'm Mexican. But I don't know about you, I love Chinese food. So today I'm going to show you how to make an egg roll my way. And these are good for you, they're nutritious, they're so tasty, good for parties, hors d'oeuvres, appetizers. So in front of me I have the ingredients. What you need is ground pork, not ground sausage, ground pork. Don't make the mistake of getting like a ground pork breakfast sausage, that's not what you want. We have some finely shredded cabbage, some finely shredded carrots, some finely chopped garlic, some finely chopped water chestnuts, and some finely chopped onion. The water chestnuts, for those of you that don't know, they come in a can like this, and you can find them in the Chinese food section of the supermarket. By themselves, they don't taste very good, but when you add them to something, they give it a nice crunch. And the onion, you want that finely chopped because you're using that for the flavor. You don't really want big pieces of onion in your egg roll. And then you need these egg roll wrappers that you also find in the refrigerated section. They have different types of wrappers that are dry in the Chinese section. Those are not the ones you want. Those are for wontons. These are egg roll wrappers, and you keep them refrigerated. You need an egg and some bean sprouts and some sesame oil for taste, soy sauce, a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of black pepper, and some salt. All right? And this is one of those recipes where you don't have to be exact with the measurements. So long as the proportions are fairly close, they'll be fine. And so next I'll show you how to make the filling for the egg roll. Okay, to assemble the filling, you start by adding a little bit of vegetable oil into a pan. And this is where the sesame oil comes in. This stuff's pretty powerful, so you just want to add a little bit of squirt in there, and it gives it a nice, authentic Chinese kind of sesame flavor. And you'll start by cooking the ground pork, and you don't have to cook this completely through. That's fine. And you want your pan hot. Chop that up a little bit, okay, and let that cook for a while. Okay, while the meat is still, red, this is when I like to season it. Add the salt and some crushed pepper, black pepper. The dry seasonings is always better if you put it on a raw meat, because that way it kind of soaks into the meat as opposed to putting it on the meat when it's already cooked. That only gets on the outside. The chili powder is optional. I like to add it just for a little spice. Okay, while the cooking at high heat and the meat's cooking, you can see that it's not all the way cooked through. That's fine because it will eventually cook. You start to add your vegetables and you stir fry. So I like to start by adding the carrots and the onion and these water chestnuts and also the garlic. It's about to start smelling really good in here. Okay. The cabbage and the bean sprouts, you don't add those yet. Let these ingredients cook a little bit. Okay, so now that those ingredients, and you can see that the meat's cooking through, and it'll continue to cook, so you don't have to worry about that. When those are cooked, now with Chinese cooking, you don't want to overcook the vegetables. You don't want them to taste raw, but you want them still crunchy. So now we add the cabbage. Give that a little bit of a stir. Okay, you can see that the cabbage is starting to glisten and it's got that pretty, you know, color that it turns when it starts to cook. At that point then, you add a nice handful of bean sprouts. And you cook those into the mix, and bean sprouts cook very quick. So you just need to kind of incorporate those. And if you'll notice, I'm cooking at very high heat. And that's the trick for keeping your vegetables crispy and nice. With high heat and constantly stirring and frying. Okay, when you got that all mixed, then you add soy sauce. Alright. You let that cook for a while. Mix it together. And there you have your filling for your egg rolls. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to assemble the egg rolls. The hard part's done, you know, the chopping and the cooking. Now the fun part. So I've transferred that filling that we made into another container here. And then I've taken the egg and put it into the bowl and beat it. And I got a little baster. That's basically the glue that holds the egg roll from falling apart. Have your egg roll wrappers and a plate. So you start by putting an egg roll wrapper in front of you with the corner facing you, not the straight side, you know, diagonal like that. And then you add some of this filling here. And this part should be no problem for us Mexicans because it's just like making a burrito. You fold over the corners. At this point you brush the tip and then bring the back part over, tucking it under. Voila, there's one egg roll. And we'll make one more just so that you see the technique. Corner facing you. Filling in the middle. Maybe a little more for that one. Okay. Brush the tip. Fold the corners over. Roll it up. And onto the plate. It's very important that the uncooked egg rolls do not touch each other. Have some separation, because if they do, they'll start to stick. And okay, so you repeat that process until your filling is gone or until you've made all the egg rolls that you want. Next, I'll show you how to cook them up. Okay, so now that you've assembled your egg rolls, as many as that you're going to make, bring them over to the stove. And I have here a pan, and it takes, you know, some oil. If you have a deep fryer, that works, but if you don't, you just use a pan, and you know, you need maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch of oil in it, and it's got to be nice and really hot. Once you have it hot, I like to put them with the tail side down. That makes sure that they don't open up. And that's not quite hot enough, so we'll turn it up a little bit. And they will cook rather quickly. Okay, so you fry these till they're nice and golden brown, and they don't take long at all. You know, it just depends on how hot your oil is, depends on how long you leave them in there. You just got to keep an eye on them and check the color. That's about the right color for me. Take them out and set them onto a paper towel so that they can drain a little bit. And then you add your next batch. There we go. There we go. That's the sound you want when you put them in. Sizzle away. Okay, so there we have some beautiful golden egg rolls. Nicely golden brown. I like to serve them with a bed of rice And you can have your favorite sauce. I like mine with hot mustard. Here's some sweet and sour, some soy sauce. So then you just kind of arrange a couple on the plate there and offer them up. And that's a really delicious and easy meal to make.